Hi there. So, really hard fought win, beating Aston Villa 2-1. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think it was a nice blend of determined spirit and tenacity with some real top quality composure. So the second goal, when it came across eventually to Martinelli, could easily panic there. You know, there's I think a lot of situations over the years where strikers have hit that over into the North Bank. Olivier Giroud did it quite a lot amongst a lot of goals he scored for Arsenal. So it's a really good composed finish, and I think that state of mind is something that I think really defines Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, and I think that's something that's been really impressive in the opening 5 matches of the season. And I think you probably saw it before that with the summer. The pre-season victory against Chelsea out in America was very encouraging, and the momentum, even though we just got pipped to 4th place last season, the momentum last season was key. And momentum is so important in football. If you think back to Arsene Wenger's time at Arsenal, he talked a lot about momentum and energy, and I think that's something Arteta really acknowledges and appreciates, and is something that's shining through very strongly with the Arsenal at the moment in August 2022.
Yeah, and we started so well. Could have scored more than about 1 goal in the first half. It was a really well goal taken by Gabriel Jesus. Fast reactions.
Yeah, so it was similar pattern to the Fulham game. A lot of chances early doors. And actually there was a concern, so around in block 4 I sit, people were thinking great start, but actually we should really have put this to bed by half time. And you know, also what was interesting, Steven Gerrard, I was curious about his approach, so I was watching him on the touchline to the right hand side from block 4, and he was stood a lot like this, whereas Arteta was very animated, almost like Unai Emery used to be. Like Unai Emery got pillarised for being too active, but actually I think that was a good thing. I think Arteta follows a similar thing, maybe he's slightly more purposeful maybe with his directions. But what we were feeling was, if Arsenal hadn't put it to bed at half time, it was only 1-0, Steven Gerrard is very capable of rallying the troops and galvanising the team, and we saw that. So Villa had a lot of character. I thought Tyrone Mings, although he did almost take out Saka's eye with a very high foot, not call it a challenge, but it was interesting, because if Arsenal hadn't kept the ball, that could have been a potential red card for that instant alone. And I don't know whether that will get attention on Match the Day later, or probably now actually. I doubt it. So we were concerned that if Arsenal hadn't put the game to bed early doors, Villa were always capable of coming back, which they did indeed do that. But this Arsenal, this modern Arsenal, weren't rattled by that, and they kept playing to their philosophy, to their ethos, and that was a beautiful thing to see actually. And I think that you saw the celebration with them jumping into the crowds. I think health and safety might have had a few things to say about it, but passion and pride and purpose was there for all to see.
Yeah, what did you think of their goal though? So it looked like a foul on Ramsdale.
It was a very scrappy goal. It reminded me actually, so Aston Villa played here in the very first competitive match of the Emirates Stadium, or Ashburton Grove. I prefer the latter title. Back in 2006, and their goal that day was actually almost identical. It was a classic British top flight goal, really. It's hard to see because I was at the other end, so you just got an instinctive reaction, but it felt a very scrappy, who's prepared to re-put their body in the line. And interestingly, attackers usually create a bit more luck in that respect. So defenders, actually, if you watch Alan Hansen over the years of Match of the Day, defenders are often a bit more on the back foot, whereas strikers or attacking players for their team's corner, they anticipate things more in a what's possible way, whereas defenders are let's just get rid or damage limitation. I think that's what happened with the goal. I don't think that anyone's necessarily at fault, although I'm sure that super slow analytics tonight will probably show that someone, maybe Ramsdale wasn't, could have done better. I don't know, but I don't want to criticise him because he's probably been one of the most impressive Arsenal players. So
it looked like he was impeded, but
he was impeded. There we go. Yeah, it was hard to tell. And I couldn't see the highlights afterwards because the screen again was at the other end, and I was behind the lower tier, so I couldn't see it at this end. But anyway, I think it was what it was, to use a phrase.
We bounced back well straight away within a few minutes, getting the second goal, and got the 3 points. That's all that matters. It's 5 wins out of 5. Who would you give your man of the match to today?
Well, I'm just going to say it's not all that matters, because you do want to have performances, both from a fan point of view to enjoy it, but also early on in the season, managers always talk about the performance is as important as result. So I'm not also one of these people who gets too... Like, if we'd drawn tonight, I wouldn't have been bent out of shape. And I don't know how much that would apply to the general fan base here tonight, but I think it would have been all right. But what's the second part of the question?
Is your man of the match?
Oh yeah, man of the match. That's a tricky one. I think there are a lot of candidates. I mean, Martinelli showed a lot of composure. I like the energy that the sub showed. So Eddie Nketiah, I wouldn't give him man of the match because he wasn't on the pitch for long enough necessarily, but he showed, I think he'll be a very good bench player this season. I think that's a good weapon to have up our sleeve or in our arsenal.
So what's your thoughts and opinions on Odegaard tonight?
Just get maybe a good contribution actually. Maybe so Odegaard could have been a potential man of the match actually.
Okay, and what's your thoughts on Saka scoring this in the last few games?
This wouldn't happen on BT Sport, would it? We've got interloper. Got interloper. Well, you should know the etiquette of letting.
Go Smithy Rowe!
Letting the question run its course.
No, but seriously, though, what's your thoughts?
I think you've got your man. I think you've got the gentleman
tonight, or do you think he should score a goal anytime soon?
Go down the Gunners pub and ask him.
I don't go down there anymore. I used to go down years back. Don't get on them anymore.
No
kicked out. I'm joking.
That's all right,
guys.
No, that's fine.
God bless you, right, mate.
Nice. Oh, handshake, come on.
It's all right, mate.
You cuddled in.
Nice
one.
Alright, cool. End of the month now, who would you give your player of the month to?
Well, so I'd be truthful here. So, as well as a natural hesitancy to not just one player, I've only seen the home games here like cross the 90 minutes. So the Bournemouth and Palace games, I've seen the very slender highlights of match of the day, and I don't know if I'm in as informed position really to give that. Having said that, I think Odegaard's been captain this year. I think he has come to the fore, and actually for a relatively young player, he hasn't buckled under that pressure. He's, in fact, the opposite. He's risen to it. If you look at the way he's carrying the ball, like he did last season, and his ball retention, but also his potency with playing, penetrating passes, it's really impressive. And I think that the link play he's showing with the wingmen is very impressive. I've liked his connections with Tierney on Saturday, and before that Zinchenko when he was playing, and tonight I think with Martinelli. I like their free kick routine actually. I don't know if you noticed it. So they had this thing where the Aston Villa players were given not their marching orders, but where to stand with the spray, and Arsenal had a little wall. They had a 2-man wall or even a 3-man wall, which I'd never seen Arsenal do before. It's quite an interesting tactical development, and I think that's got a lot to do with Mikel Arteta investing on a heavy a set piece team. Do you know about this? They've got like the set piece specialists, like a throwing coach, a corner coach, free kick coach. Now, it wouldn't have happened. Like Arsene Wenger, for as great a man as he wasn't that meticulous to those kind of details with set pieces. So I think that's quite a cool thing to be aware of.
Okay, transfer window's closing tomorrow night.
Oh yeah.
Do you think we're going to get any more players in?
I don't know. Probably not, to be honest. I mean, and if we do, it's going to be a bit of a panic buy, probably, isn't it? I mean, my friends on a WhatsApp group were talking about the need to really have midfield cover, particularly centre mids, in the absence, say tonight, of Thomas Partey, and with Zinchenko being out as a wing player. I don't know. I quite like keeping with a cohesive unit of players and giving them a bit of trust, and I think it's important to build on the momentum of last season. I think that Arsenal had some great energy last season, and yeah, I'm not one for necessarily rocking the boat massively, and I think that I'm okay with the current squad. Yeah.
Okay, so Man United away next. Thoughts on that one?
Thoughts are, if anyone's got a spare ticket, give me a shout, because I haven't got one so far. I lost a lot of credits last year by freezing my SIM ticket, so I'm a little bit short what I used to be. It'll be a great game. I think that Manchester United are a different animal now. They've had those 2 wins. Be interesting to see what happens tomorrow night. I believe they're playing against Leicester. Is that right? Is it Thursday night? Yeah. And also, it's interesting because, you know, all the connotations of preparation time. I know they're playing at home, but that's like a sort of Europa League kind of window. So that might impact on their freshness and condition on Sunday. Manchester United Arsenal's always been an iconic game over the years, so I expect fireworks on and off the pitch, and we saw a flare tonight, or a smoke bomb emanating from the Aston Villa section. Yeah, I think that if you're there, enjoy it. I appreciate it. Don't put too much pressure on the team. Like, support them. And if it doesn't go our way early doors, stay patient. You know, we might go down. We might be down at half time for the first time, because United, with their backs up in front of their Old Trafford fans. Yeah, but I think maybe Arsenal might nick it 3-2 or 2-1 is what I'm feeling maybe. So yeah, who knows.
Brilliant.